And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today we're looking at space checkers. It's checkers in space, or checkers about space, or it's really not checkers at all, kind of. I guess it is in space. It's an abstract strategy game for 4 players. You're each a different alien, but that does not matter at all. Let me show you the game and how you play it, and then we'll tell you if we liked it. Each player in a game has a different alien race, which is a different color and has a different reason for invading Earth and fighting each other, and doesn't really matter because you're just a different color. But that helps if you want the background stories and so forth. Now on your turn, and if you're playing 2 players, you set up across from each other. If you play 3 players, play a different game. If you're playing 4, you set up like this. But on your turn, you're going to roll 2 dice. Now, if you roll a specific color, let's say I roll red and 5, that means I need to move one of my pieces 5 spaces in the red direction. Now, that might be impossible for a player. For example, it's impossible for green at this point in time. The board does warp, so he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, but he wouldn't be able to move 5 there and land on himself. But if blue got this, would be a pretty simple thing. Blue would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He couldn't move this piece because you can't go through the earth. If you roll a wild, you can pick any color you want. So let's say I roll a wild 5, then I could say, okay, I'm green, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then red goes, and red gets a yellow 6, which is pretty much impossible for them for the same reasons I mentioned earlier. So yellow goes, yellow gets a wild 1. So yellow decides to move one of these pieces up like this. And then blue goes, and blue gets a 5 green. And so blue has to go this direction, and so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is going to continue on and go back and forth. However, if you ever have the chance to move, let's say yellow gets a blue 3, he can go 1, 2, 3 and jump over an opponent's piece. And when you jump over an opponent's piece, you capture it and place it in your jail area as part of your empire. And once a player has captured 10 opponent's pieces, doesn't matter what colors they are, then that player is the winner. Of course, as the game progresses, you're going to have fewer and fewer pieces on the board, which give you fewer options to attack. But that's basically it. You can't jump over multiple opponents. You can only jump over one at a time. And then if there's one more rule, if you're in the last 4 spaces of the opponent's side of the board, then you can ignore the color that's rolled and just pretend that it's always a wild. Capture 10 pieces, and you win. Alright, Space Checkers is not bad for kids, I think. The problem is half the time you're kind of dictated, about half the time you're dictated by the color that you roll. So there's really not a lot of choice, and sometimes you only have 1 or 2 pieces that you can move. It's much better with multiple players than it is with 2. 2 can get kind of boring, and you'll find that half your pieces are captured by moving towards yourself and warping to the other side of the board. In a 4-player game, you're going all over the place, and it's a lot more fun. It's a chaotic abstract strategy game in how it plays out, and I think that's the best way that it should be played, but you have to realize that it's very, very light. What did you think?
I like moving the little spaceships around.
They are cool pieces.
Yeah. And I like capturing other things, but I'm not good at this game at all. The thing.
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily an aspect of being good. I don't think anyone who ever beats someone else will say, "Ah, ha, ha, better than you." I think it's more of a, there really is a lot of luck in it. I mean, some of the ideas are neat. I like the warping board. I like the moving towards a specific color. That's easier than saying left, right, up, down. But rolling big numbers helps you out much better. If you keep rolling 1s and the other person's rolling 4, 5s, and 6s, they really are going to have an advantage on you. Because you might move towards them to jump and then they jump. You can say, but use strategy. Line your pieces up behind each other. Yeah, but that's checkers, folks. In this game, you're kind of at the whim of the dice. So I think if you go into it knowing that, you might like it. For me, it was just kind of, because I was looking for maybe just a little bit more and it's kind of a mindless game in a sense. I roll, what's the best move?
Where we had to move toward the color, because that didn't really help me at all trying to capture the others.
Yeah, and sometimes you have your pieces set up and you have to move away multiple times. So, so that's kind of my final opinion on it. It's kind of a, what about you?
Same.
Same? Oh, good. Wow, we agree for once. All right. Well, and again, this might work well, especially maybe with younger players, and you move the pieces. What is the game saying? Is it 8 and up? 6 and up. Yeah. So there you go. I think younger kids will enjoy it more, although they might have the waterworks when their aliens are captured. Maybe you could give each alien a special ability. That might be neat too. Now, it's cool looking, great artwork, great components.
Really good artwork.
It's probably just a little too young for our tastes.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.